G'day No Man's Sky fans, Vaughanarama here again for another base tour of mine. This is the Bloodwater Caverns base. It's got three main components to this base: the lighthouse, which you might have seen a preview of recently, the pontoon, which is out there on the water in the background, and underneath the pontoon is quite a large underwater base, which was the original base here before I added the other two components. That's the lighthouse there. Very cool idea, I thought. And the pontoon out there on the water. I made these buildings accessible. So there's an automatic door here, which takes you into the lighthouse keeper's house. And there's a fire running non-stop. This beautiful fireplace was one of the most complex things that I had to add to this base. A gun rack, a lounge room with a TV, a bedroom for the lighthouse keeper, some couches by the fire, and some other basics there, wardrobe and some drawers. That fireplace just looks good, doesn't it? It was quite tricky, particularly to get the chimney clipping through the roof. I made the lighthouse accessible too, with just a little bit of lighting and a stairwell that takes you all the way to the top of the lighthouse. I won't bore you by running all the way up to the top of the stairs. We're just going to jetpack up there and probably even cut the video there. Okay, so getting to the top of the stairs within the lighthouse. Bit of free lighting there with those chandeliers. Hit this button and it'll open up this door to the outside of the lighthouse. There's no walkways or anything on the outside. It's literally just a doorway at the top of the lighthouse so that you can have a bit of a look around. Don't forget to close the door after you're done. That'd be great. That's how the lighthouse looks at night time. I had to glitch 4 moon pool doors in to make that lighthouse with the banjo glitch, of course. Okay, so we've got a little jetty down here at the base of the lighthouse, which you can go from here over to the pontoon. You just have to wait for the ferry to come along, which you can call it by interacting with the base computer. A couple of moorings there on the jetty, which I think was a pretty nice touch too. You can take the express ferry over to the pontoon if you like. Doesn't take too long. Certainly a lot faster than swimming. This is the second main component of the Bloodwater Caverns base. This is the pontoon. So there's a lot of smaller details on this part of the base. A couple of glitched plants there, which are a bit of a cool effect. This is bar number 1 of 3. My friend A-Pictor is always telling me that my bases must include a bar, so I thought I'm going to up the ante a little bit and include 3. There's a sun lounge there to my right, and that has an umbrella tree basically being used as an umbrella. Thought there was a bit of irony in that. Some plants and greenery decorating the pontoon. Going to check the pontoon out at night time, just so you can see those light fishes there, creating a nice lighting effect over the pool in the pontoon. Crisscrossing, I think that looks quite good. Some deep sea fishing rigs there. There is some marlin that swim around the pontoon, so some fish to be caught. I think you saw the landing pads there. There's 4 in total. They sit just below the surface so that your ship sits on the surface when it lands. There's a close-up of the diving board. There's 2 of those over the pool. And obviously below this pontoon is the underwater section. That's bar number 2. Some more plants and greenery, another sun lounge with the umbrella. The cabling there, which you can just see, actually secures the pontoon to the sea floor so it doesn't float away. This short range teleporter, that would take you down to the underwater section of the base, but I do want to show you how deep these caverns are, so we're actually going to swim down. And nice little dive there off the diving board. So the water here is obviously an orange colour. It's called Bloodwater Caverns because at dawn and dusk the water does turn a dark red colour, hence the name Bloodwater. This is your welcome centre There was a welcome message there as well. Other common features of my base. Some oxygen tanks there, circulating air to the underwater section. A little bit of water gets in this base, but not much. I find these building designs that I use for underwater base building with glass cuboid rooms and a little bit of curved roofing doesn't really let much water in. It also means that you don't have to be restricted to the underwater base parts. That was bar number 3 back there. Here's a lounge area with some more oxygen tanks feeding oxygen through the base. Some drinks on the tables there. Okay, there's the workstations here. You know, if you are working from home at the moment due to the coronavirus, you can use those workstations. You have my permission. This short-range teleporter takes you down to the lowest section of the underwater base. Got a health station, hazard protection, galactic trade terminal, teleporter. That arrow is directing your attention upwards. There's a save point up there. There's doors on all of these rooms, I guess, downstairs, underwater. There's exits on all these buildings underwater so that you can swim through different sections of these caverns. They are vast. You'll get a bit of a taste for that later in the video. But have a look at how beautiful these caverns are. Those barnacles that I've put in there and the writhing bushes really add some colour and light and vibrancy to these caverns. Okay, there was an appearance modifier back there and a couple of mixers, as my friend Captain Tumbleweed calls them. Okay, we're walking through the armory now. Lots of guns on display for sale, lots of ammunition that you can get for free there. Okay, moving on to another section of the underwater part. And got some carbon and some nip-nip that you can pick here. I had to put the nip-nip all the way down here, so it's away from the eyes of the law. Look how clear the water is, even though it's orange water, which is not a popular choice for an underwater base. It is very clear and gives it some real colour. Looks nice. This is the living quarters, another typical feature of my bases. And another special feature of this particular base, we have the deepest disco in the galaxy. That's where we're heading. That door you can't normally place underwater, so I had to glitch that in. Got some disco balls on the roof there. Yeah. Good view of the surrounding areas. The disco is pretty lifeless at the moment, but we can change that by switching the power on. Got some alternating floor lights and a pretty basic dance track for the moment. You have to bring your own dance moves to the disco, they're not provided. Still got to be the best emote going around. Well, it's my favourite anyway. Anyway, you get the idea. Lots of fun can be had here at the disco. And you don't have to leave the music playing all day, otherwise your neighbours may complain, so just switch it off when you're done. That would be great. And now finally I'll give you a brief taste of the caverns themselves. At the time of recording this video, it is actually around about dusk on the planet, and you can see that the water is getting a bit darker and more of a reddy sort of blood colour. Hence the name of this base. You can see the cabling coming down there from the pontoon, securing it to the seafloor. There is a submarine there which you can drive around and explore the caverns with. or you can just swim if you've got enough oxygen. But the caverns are vast and definitely worth a look. Lots of fish and jellyfish around, and they are quite beautiful, those caverns. Going to swim back up through the pool where we entered from, and that pretty much takes us to the end of this base tour. The lighthouse in the background there. So please come and visit, guys. Do a save and reload to assist with rendering, because it is a very big base. But as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.